This is TWiT.
I want to start with Apple because, first off, I have spent my career writing and talking about Apple, but also because we're in the silly season that is right before the big Apple event, which was announced it's going to be on September 12th, a Wednesday. They sent out an invitation to members of the media showing a golden ring that is basically the Apple Loop logo, although that didn't stop people from joking that they're going to release a circular laptop. That's probably not going to happen. They will almost certainly release new iPhones, maybe iPads, probably new Apple Watches as well. And one of the reasons we know about the phone and the watch is because 9to5Mac discovered, basically, let's just say somebody put some graphics up on I think an Apple server somewhere using a guessable file name structure. And guess what? Somebody was guessing. And so 9to5Mac has images of a new Apple Watch with edge to edge. It looks like basically the same shape of the Apple Watch, but the screen goes edge to edge. No bezels. If you are an investor in bezels, by the way, I'm sorry. It's a bad time for you. And and new versions of the iPhone X, including a much larger version as well as a large non-OLED and an LCD version. But there's an image of the two small and large iPhone Xs as well. So if you're at Apple and your job is keeping product security for just 2 more weeks and we'll get across the finish line, well, the sad trombone is playing for you. But we've got the information. We're on the outside. We don't care. We're not working at Apple. So what does everybody think? New Apple stuff is on the horizon. Andy, why don't we start with you? What's your read on what we know so far about what Apple's doing in a couple weeks?
I like the news about the new Apple line, the new iPhone line, especially the idea of having a humongously crazy, stupid, big iPhone X, because I really missed having the iPad Mini to play with, and so now you can sort of, if it really is as big as they're saying, 6.5 inches diagonal, that will maybe give me some of that iPad Mini love that I've been missing out on for the past couple of years. And I also like the idea of doing an iPhone XS, if that's really the name of it, basically finding a way to make something that is nearly as good as an iPhone X, but why don't we just take away the things that don't necessarily affect performance? Like, what if we switch to an aluminum frame instead of a steel one? What if we switch to LCD instead of OLED, and be able to get the price way, 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 way down? Let everybody have Face ID, even the people who normally would buy, like the people last year who would have bought the iPhone 7 or the iPhone 8. Isn't it great that they can have like the really cool notched screen? That is the other thing that, if you my great-grandfather, his first job as an Italian immigrant was on the factory floor taking notches out of screens, like the classical hand-tooled methods that he brought with him from Italy, and he would be out of a job now because if you don't have a notched screen, you earn nothing. So those are my 2 favorite things from the what we think we know right now.
Nice. Ben, what do you think about this?
Man, I just, Jason, I know you love Apple. I support you, but I'm so bored.
This is a safe space.
At this point.
Be bored. It's safe to be bored. It's okay.
Place of safety and love.
I'm so bored. I'm glad this is a safe space to say this. Admittedly, I'm also an Android, so I have my Pixel first generation. I'm just holding on to that, waiting for that October 9th. The other event that's coming up.
We'll get there. Yes, yes.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I think what is fascinating to watch as I guess kind of an Apple outsider is just how much, like, they just do one thing. They send out an invite with a circle on it, and that becomes a huge conversation on Twitter for like 5 days straight. Which I think is amazing. You have to give them that, right? You have to give them what they do still matters, even tiny little design choices, which frankly, as near as we can tell, that's what we're going to see in this event, right? We're not going to see any huge leaps forward in small device computing technology here. We're talking again, as per usual, about changes in bezel, disappearing bezel, using a different metal that supposedly maybe will make the phone function better. Like, I guess I've just become that, I don't know, old guy yelling in a room by himself, saying like, show me something amazing. And this is all incremental stuff, and that's fine. But I guess, I've become that guy who's like, I don't know, make it and turn it into a convincing virtual reality, augmented reality device. Show me something amazing, and I'll be excited about Apple again. Until then, I'm going to yawn a little bit.
Must be nice to send out an invitation to an event that has nothing in it of interest at all. It's literally the logo for their new campus where they're holding the event, and have people spend several days talking about your invitation. If only, a wedding save the date invitation got so much. But no, it's just Apple. Bree, what do you think? Are you more interested in this than Ben is?
So as you may know, over on Rocket, we're big believers in the rose gold lifestyle. Like we love rose gold. So that's, I'm sorry, I'm that Apple fan. Like they're releasing my favorite color, iPhone.
The space
I'm
is safe for you
phone.
too. It's safe for you too.
I'm just going to own that. Yes. I also want to say I love. Like the saddest thing about the server leak is like when I found out about it, I'm imagining like what goes on in Guangzhou with the people actually assembling Apple devices where, they're patted down and x-rayed as they're going into the factory to build these things. And then, back here in America, somebody just didn't think to like encrypt the server before everything is going live and it all gets out. I find that deeply ironic. As far as this generation of iPhone, we've had some real turkey-esque years, in my opinion. The 5S and moving to 32-bit and Touch ID at first, I don't think that was the best phone. But for this year, with the different sizes of phone, I'm really excited about this. I do think there's some room for a faster processor in the iPhone 10. I think it does stutter just a little bit. And for me, even though I know like the screen in it is bigger than the old 7 Plus, I just liked that bigger form factor. For me on my campaign, I use my phone so much more than I use the Mac we have dedicated to it. So the idea of having more battery life and more screen, that's a product I'm very, very excited to buy, which is why I was sad that it looks like there's going to be no pencil support.
Yeah,
I'm sad about that too. That's a report. Who knows? It seemed to me like if they're going to do a giant iPhone 10, which is what we've seen, it seems like that's going to happen. That would be a great time to do a revision of the Apple Pencil and bring that support. Yeah. They've got all the software there from the iPad, and bring that in because you've literally got a phone the size of a notepad. Why not let people write on it?
They'd have to make a smaller pencil, which would also be a great product.
Like a golf pencil, the Apple Golf Pencil. They could do it. I think in terms of the talk year versus, it's like a TikTok. It's the S year, as you said, Bree. The idea that at least doing this big phone is more interesting, a big iPhone 10, than if it was literally the same phones we saw last year. And then having this other large but cheaper phone is also something to give, even though Ben is bored, it's a little bit more interesting than if it was literally the same phones you saw last year, but slightly faster.